I've posted over 3,000 listings on Etsy, generated over 21,000 images with Midjourney, and just in the last 30 days sold almost $3,000 worth of AI art on Etsy. So what's the secret? How did I go from some regular old image files to getting buyers to purchase my designs? Well, if I had to describe it in one word, it would be this: mockups. On Etsy, mockups are our sales and marketing. They set the standard for the quality of our listings, sometimes even more so than the art itself. If using high quality mockups is key to unlocking explosive growth selling AI digital art on Etsy, then it's only right that we give our mockups the time and attention they deserve. In this video, I'll cover everything you need to know about mockups, including where to find them, how to get them, and finally, how to use them. Then I'll finish with 3 bonus tactics to bring our mockups up to max level of quality. Let's dive right in. It's 2025 and there are hundreds or even thousands of different places we can find frame mockups out there on the internet today. Most require some sort of subscription. For example, websites like FreePic or Placeit have a ton of great mockups, but you can't download them without a premium subscription. We're looking for the best of the best mockups, but we're also not trying to drain our wallets in the process. To this end, I've tried a ton of different mockup hubs across the internet, and after spending all my time and money on these different platforms, one stands out among the rest in terms of quality and cost efficiency, and that is actually Etsy itself. Etsy has high competition for mockup sellers, so they're always trying to one-up each other in terms of quality and affordability, which is a win-win for us as the buyers. So for this video, this is where we'll be getting all of our mockups. So let's get some. Let's imagine we have this winter village painting here, a nice holiday piece that I generated with an aspect ratio of 4:5. So the first step here is to get ourselves to Etsy.com and search 4:5 frame mockup in the top search bar. We'll get pages and pages of results. So this is the fun part, where we get to go window shop each and every option to see which of these mockup designs sticks out. Go ahead and find a few that look good from these results. I'll show a nice holiday one that I found here. Note that it's actually extremely affordable. Now, before we go ahead and pull the trigger on this one, we need to find 2 pieces of information. The first is to make sure that this mockup is the same aspect ratio as our art image, so 4:5. If we look here at the title, we can see that clear as day. However, as a side note, not all mockups are so explicit, and sometimes we need to dig through the description to find the aspect ratio size the mockup fits. After we identify the size, we need to make sure the mockup contains a .psd file so we can work with it in Photoshop. It doesn't look like we see this from the title, so let's expand the description and look there. Right away we can see here that it includes the PSD file we're looking for. So this mockup checks off both of our boxes, so let's add it to our cart. Then proceed to checkout, finalize our payment, and finally land on this screen where we can download our digital files. The order needs to be complete before we can hit download, but usually if we wait about 10 seconds and refresh the page, the button lights up and we can download our files. Note that this mockup actually only provides a PDF as a download, which might seem weird, but it's actually a good sign. PSD files are too big to attach to an Etsy listing. So mockup sellers give us a PDF that simply contains a link to Google Drive where we can download our actual file. So let's go ahead and download our PDF, then open it up and check it out. This seller goes above and beyond and gives us a little how-to guide on how to use the mockup, which is great. One of the reasons why I love this mockup seller. But for our purposes, we just need to go to that big obvious text on page 1 and click the big "click here" text. We're then immediately taken to a Google Drive folder, and lo and behold, our PSD file is sitting there right in its home. We can simply click download next to the file, and once that is complete, we can open it up in Photoshop. Finding and downloading the mockup is half the battle, and the next part is even more fun. Once we have the mockup open in Photoshop, take a look at this little window down here. We can immediately see 2 layers, a base layer and one that looks a little funny with the text "your design here 4:5. It's almost like this mockup seller is trying to tell us something. If you haven't seen it already, check out this video on Photoshop basics for art sellers to get a short and simple walkthrough of working with Photoshop for us selling AI art prints on Etsy. But as a refresher, when you see this little icon on a layer, it means it's actually a smart object. So we can double click on the icon to go one level deeper into the object. And again, we'll see a note from the seller saying replace this. So let's go ahead and click that layer and delete it by pressing the delete key, then find our winter village print we created with Midjourney and simply drag and drop it into this object. And just like magic, the image is perfectly sized to fill the frame. Simply hit done, then hit Control S to save this updated object, and close the tab to get us back to the parent image, where we can see that our beautiful new mockup is now the home of our high quality art print. For this mockup, that's really all there is to it. At this point, we can simply go up into File, Export, and quick export it as a PNG with our now complete mockup image ready to post on Etsy. Okay, hopefully that was pretty simple to get a feel for. Now, there are 2 other tactics I want to hit on that I recommend you stay for, as we'll need more than just this lifestyle mockup to get our listings to start making sales. The next example is a quick one, but I wanted to note that we actually don't need to have every single mockup be exactly 4x5. For our digital prints, we're starting with a 4x5 image, but we'll be cropping the file into these 5 different aspect ratios in order to give our customers easy access to use our art in any sized frame they might want. So, because our customers might use a cropped version of our image, we can actually include something like this in our mockups. The best size I have found that still looks amazing but provides a cropped example like this is DIN A ISO mockups. In fact, if you searched 4x5 frame mockup like we did earlier, you probably ran into some that just say DIN A or ISO. This is just a slightly thinner size than 4x5, but it's very close. Let me pull up an example mockup in Photoshop and give a demo of this in action. Again, you can see this is an identical format to the last mockup, with one smart object layer and another for the background. If we double click in, we can paste our artwork into the layer, same as before, but this time you can see that it's actually a little smaller than the overall frame. We don't want to leave it with any extra space at the top and bottom, so we'll need to resize it. Hold the Alt key to resize the top and bottom together at the same time, and simply drag the top bar while holding Alt until it's flush with the top and bottom edges. It should click into place once you get there. Then click Done, and notice that our art now fills the frame, but a bit of the sides are cropped off. Hit Ctrl S to save the object and go back into the parent image. Even though it got cropped slightly, the print still looks great. And in fact, many of our customers will end up using one of our cropped versions of the print like I mentioned. So this really is a true-to-life example mockup, which is great. Plus, this gives us the flexibility to use more than just 4x5 mockups. We can now use any mockup marked DIN A, as well as others like 3x4 as well. As a pro tip, 2x3 sized mockups will also work, but those are the skinniest size we offer, so they crop the image the most. So I like to stay away from that size for mockups if possible. As a side note, for horizontal or landscape mockups, just flip the numbers. So they might call it 5x4, or they might just call it 4x5, but it's obviously a landscape mockup, like this example. Okay, 2 examples down, 1 more to go. And you're not going to want to miss this. The next type is the most important mockup you can possibly have. And we'll go through how to add your logo and watermark to make it even more premium. Here's another example of a mockup in Photoshop. This is actually an entire different type of mockup from the other 2, which were lifestyle mockups. This one is instead a framed art mockup. So it's a straight-on, minimalist shot of just the frame, the art, and some subtle shadows. This is the perfect type of mockup to use for the primary listing image. But we can also throw in a few more as other listing images as well. The benefit of these types of mockups are that we get a much cleaner picture of the image. But we can also include our shop's logo as well as a custom watermark to the mockup. Let's break it down, starting with the logo. If we used a tool like Canva to create a logo, or to remove the background from a logo we made with Midjourney, then this step is extremely easy. If you're looking for some background on this, check out the link in the description for access to the free AI Art Sellers Collective School community, and in week 1 there is a video about setting up your shop and creating logos. So with our transparent logo selected, all we need to do is drag and drop it into our mockup. Then resize it so it's visible but not too overbearing. And then place it nicely here at the bottom. Simple as that. And now we have this pristine branded mockup design that is unique to just our shop. The very last step is to add a watermark. And we can actually do this right in Photoshop. There are a couple of steps here, so feel free to slow this down or watch it again if I go a little fast. First, hit U on the keyboard to open the ellipse tool. Then draw a circle. Hold Shift while you do this to make it a perfect circle. This will be what our text wraps around. Then press T to select the text tool and move the cursor over the edge of the circle until the mouse turns into this line with a squiggle through it. Click and then select all the default text with the mouse, or hit Control A to select it all, then hit backspace to clear it. Then type the name of your shop in all caps. Now we want to change the font color. I like doing a gray color somewhere around here and hit OK. Then hit the text menu here and set it to bold and pick a nice font for the text. I'll do this Cambria one here. Finally, mess with the font size until the words perfectly wrap around the circle. The last step is to delete the original circle, then select our text and lower the opacity a bit. Then place it wherever you want over the artwork. I know, that was a lot of steps in a short window, but the great thing is that once we make this little wraparound text watermark once, we can actually just copy and paste it forever. For example, check out how we can literally just select the layer and hit Control C to copy it, and move to an entirely new Photoshop file and hit Control V to paste it in. Pretty slick. And with that, we now have everything we need to get started with mockups. Again, once we get a handful of high quality files and we spend the time adding our logo and watermark to the framed art mockups, we don't need to make any changes for several months until the seasons change. And at that point, maybe we end up only switching out 1 or 2 to make them seasonal. As a final note, I'd probably recommend a minimum of 5 mockups for any given listing. And yes, it's absolutely fine if you don't use all 10. However, I'll be making a follow-up video in the AI Art Sellers Collective school community on info cards and size charts and testimonials, which can fill 1, 2, or 3 images in every single listing. So I'd highly recommend you check that out. Otherwise, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. Consider liking or subscribing if you got any value from this video, but of course you don't have to. And I will see you in the next one.